The cope and walking back everything about Dragon Age the Veilguard has been so funny. We saw how IGN initially came out with a 9 out of 10 review on this game, and then they started writing articles saying, it wasn't so good once they actually played it. This has been going on across the industry. We've seen it with all these companies that initially were going out really, really hard, defending Bioware, trying to make this a political cause, and then realizing that it was just not a good game on any level. Even the woke stuff aside, they couldn't defend it once they actually got into it. Now the director is, of course, attempting to just sweep this under the rug, pretend like everything's fine, and not learn anything from this whole situation. These people owe gamers a huge apology, especially Dragon Age fans, because the first couple of games really set up a beautiful world, and it's sad to watch this happening. Now, we're going to get into this in just a moment, so smash that like and subscribe button. We're getting into close to what is it, 50,000 subscribers? And I really appreciate you gamers for being here and supporting us. Tell your friends about our channel. Let's get us there as fast as we possibly can. Post this on social media and subscribe if you're new. Really appreciate you for being there. And please, I'm also a fantasy writer, and so if you like the Dragon Age setting, I think you're really going to love My First Steam and Country. I definitely felt like this had a Dragon Age vibe to it when we get through this series here. And as you progress through the series, you'll see a lot more sort of similarities just in the fantasy setting here. It's an airship crew who's going out and adventuring, swashbuckling, lots of action, of course, because I'm a gamer from way back, and that's what I wanted to present in my books. And so if you like that kind of thing, and if you like people fighting monsters and fun stuff like that, this is going to be for you. It's in the description below. Grab it. Of course, it's available on ebook, print, and audio to make it easy for you. It is all ages friendly, no woke stuff in it whatsoever, and it's a 6-book series. Great gift for Christmas as well. Thank you guys for supporting us. All right, so Dragon Age the Veilguard's game director, a man who pretends to be a woman. Wow, what a based headline start here. Oh yeah, that's our news. That's why. Who uses the name Corinne Bush. Completely evaded the question about the game's sales figures and instead claimed just making the game was, quote, a miracle. Now, this is amazingly a participation trophy that they're giving, that he's giving himself, I should say, immediately. And it's really, really funny that this is going on. In an interview with Eurogamer, he was asked, how has the commercial response to the game been? I've seen stories about sales. They seem mixed, inconclusive. They're very conclusive. My insiders at Bioware and all that say that things are really, really bad, that this is considered a flop for them. And, of course, everybody else has confirmed this, and Demian's confirmed the sales have been around 1 million, which is not what they needed to make this a profit. Same with Smash JT out there. The game seems to have been doing okay, but struggling to keep pace with Inquisition before it. Has it been a success from your point of view? How do you measure that? Oh my gosh, pretty funny, pretty direct question from Eurogamer. And the way that they framed it, it's really, really funny. They're saying that it's doing pretty decent, but it's really not. I mean, this is really bad sales for Dragon Age. Remember, the concurrent player count couldn't even get up to around 1,000 on Steam. That's nutty. Inquisition would have done way, way better if this has been around today. And this is exactly the problem that they're facing. And they know it. It does not have the sustainability, does not have the player base to really move forward and make this into a success. And BioWare has actually signaled that they're moving on for it and probably not even doing downloadable content, which is crazy. BioWare lives off that stuff. So Bush replied, "There's 3 axes we can measure this by. What the team was able to do and put together, the pride that they can say they take in that." It's always about pride with these people, have you noticed? Pride is a sin. Every game that's made, especially in AAA space where you're talking hundreds of developers' timelines, is a miracle. That they executed at quality internally, we consider that a success. So yes, the metric, the goalpost has been moved. Now profitability doesn't matter. Gameplay doesn't matter. Critical reception doesn't matter. All that matters is that they tried, guys. Welcome to the T-Ball team. Yes, we're going to give you a trophy no matter what. We're going to clap for you even if you couldn't even hit the ball because you showed up, gosh darn it. Thanks. This is what these people are at this point. They demand to be treated like they are successful, wonderful things and like their products are fantastic just because they tried. And that's ridiculous because you should make something good to get critical reception. That is how things work. And of course, the real metric, capitalism, is showing that this game was not a success, that it was not great, that it was not well done, that it's not executed at quality. Quite the opposite of what's being said here. I'm sorry, I'm ranting. seeing these people act like this. They're so entitled. We're very happy with the critical reception of the game. Yeah, the fake original critical reception. It's not and again, that's all paid access. Like those people got paid, got early access, got press releases, and of course they gave initial responses which were very nice, and then as they got into it, they saw it wasn't. We saw they all walked it back. It's not common to have these challenging development cycles and have a team turn around and receive the critical reception that it did. In fact, in a lot of ways, that's the harder path to take. Oh, they're stunning and brave for taking this hard path. And that's what it is. This person, the director, obviously inserted all this LGBTQ crap, putting it in there, made all the good guys women and minorities and gays, and all the bad guys white males. And they did it intentionally, period. And this was done. And this was the path that they wanted. And yes, we're proud of the critical reception. Of course. You're not proud of the gamer reception, though. Unfortunately, and here we go, on the sales side, that's not something we really can discuss. Oh, good try. Now, it wouldn't be unfortunately, and it would be discussed if it was a success. We know this. These companies always post their successes. When they sell millions of copies, they have whole promotional posts about it because nothing, honestly, I'm a marketing background, guys. I come from business. Nothing is better than success for marketing. And this is why I love this. This is why I made the push last week to get this #1 bestseller tag, because I know that when I have this, and this is like the 5th or 6th time this book series has gotten here. It's not new. But I know that when I get this in a bunch of different categories, which I was up to #1 in 3 categories last week, that it looks like a success, and it shows people are reading it and enjoying it, and therefore people go, oh, it's called social proof. It's a very important marketing technique, and the fact that they don't have it is the reason they can't talk about it. This is why it's being dodged here. This is what they're trying to sweep here, because if they did have it, they'd 100% be talking about it. This is a complete lie. And that's exactly what's going on. Inquisition is a failure, and this confirms it beyond anything else we've seen, because the director would be talking about its successes otherwise and bragging about it otherwise. That would be the best thing they could do for continued sales of the game. And unfortunately, as they say, that's not happening. But of course, as we know with Inquisition, that was going to be a long burn to get those total sales numbers. Oh, good try. They're going to try with this long burn. Now, the thing about these games, that the long burn, if it doesn't have word of mouth that it's some great game out there and people aren't talking about it and aren't playing it in big droves, that word of mouth doesn't continue and it goes away, and so you're not going to have a long burn. That's kind of how things happen every single time. The reason games pick up steam, like Black Myth Wukong earlier this year, and just keeps rolling and trucking, Space Marine 2 did the same thing, is because word of mouth went out, and then it became a bigger success because word of mouth went out. That is exactly what happens. Once people hear that, oh, this game's great, there's a lot of people playing it, we can get online and have some fun with it, that's what drives game sales to be something big. I mean, these people are just lying through their teeth every single time, trying to sweep this, trying to pretend like it's a success when it's not, and it's clearly not a success. So this was evaded right here. When asked why there won't be an expansion or downloadable content, he said, the decision was ultimately made that we wanted to take the approach of making this the most complete, contained, start-to-finish story that could deliver some of those answers and present new mysteries. Wow, this was a canned response. And again, a total lie, because Bioware never does this. Big game companies never do this. They always do expansions of downloadable content, especially if they love to milk those properties. I hate that about games personally, and I wish this would be the case. I wish this was true, that these were all start-to-finish stories that they were trying to do like this. But this is a complete lie again, and it is because of the failure of the game that it's not happening. Creative director John Epler shared a similar thought. When comparing the game to Inquisition to his Trespasser downloadable content. The difference in the Veilguard is the story ends pretty conclusively. There's obviously a secret post-credits scene, but that's less of a here's an immediate thing that you need to be aware of, and more of a here's a hint as to what the future will be, except for there's not going to be a future. That's very obvious, and that's the whole deal. It's dead in the water. Gamers are not playing it. Gamers have rejected this. He then added, a lesson that I've learned: don't ever try to make a direct sequel to a game 10 years later, because, oh my gosh, that is a challenge. I don't know about that. I think all you got to do is hire some competent writers and do this, and it would not be a problem. But they didn't. They hired a dude in a dress pretending to be a woman who wanted to insert the agenda, and it's agenda-ridden. It stomps on the lore of the previous games, and it's stupid. Is there a future for a series? What might it look like? There's so many stories left, so many mysteries left unsolved. I'll leave it for what it is. As for what the next iteration becomes, that looks like what style of game it is, well, I said it's a franchise of reinvention. In some ways, there's parallels in that regard to, say, the Final Fantasy series. Of course, it's very different in terms of choice and consequences and many other factors, but there are those RPG franchises that embrace reinvention, and when a new one gets announced, it really piques your curiosity about where are we going to. Well, this is a bunch of non-answers. Lots of stories in the settings, lots of threads, lots of questions about the Veilguard, a few new seeds. We want to keep telling stories in this world. Well, they're not going to, is really what it comes down to. It's been shut down already. They're moving on to Mass Effect in hopes that they can preserve that franchise after the disaster of Andromeda. I don't have much hope for it. I don't think it's going anywhere, but this is confirmation that this series died. It's over, and it's going nowhere. All right, leave a comment down below with what you think about this. Hit the like and subscribe button. We are telling lots of great stories in a fantasy setting that you'll absolutely love. If you love the original Dragon Age, come in on this, join our community, and of course, grab these books today. It's on ebook, print, and audio. I've got that in the description below for you, and thank you guys so much for supporting our channel. We'll be back soon.